Today is Monday, June 5, and this is Pastor John with today's devotion reading. Our lesson comes from Psalm 29. The lesson begins, Ascribe to the Lord, you heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in the splendor of his holiness. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord thunders over the mighty waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is majestic. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks in pieces the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon leap like a calf, Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord strikes with flashes of lightning. The voice of the Lord shakes the desert. The Lord shakes the desert of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord twists the oaks and strips the forests bare. And in his temple all cry glory. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord is enthroned as king forever. The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. So ends the lesson. Our devotion is entitled Power and Presence, and the writer starts. Is God far off or near? Yes. This is a paradox of our faith. In the first two chapters of Genesis, God speaks the world into creation and shapes the people from the dirt. At times, God feels far off or absent. Other times, we have a strong sense of God's presence. Psalm 29 is full of verbs that speak to the active power of God's voice. God thunders, breaks, makes, flashes, shakes, causes, strips. The final stanza is a prayer that God will give strength and bless with peace. Amid these active verbs, we also hear that God sits and that the voice of the Lord is. God is both powerful and present. Where do you need to hear God's voice? What verbs would you add to those of the psalm to describe God's presence? Where do you need strength? What would a blessing of peace look like right now? The psalmist's confidence about God's work invites us to pray boldly for that same sense of God's power and presence in our lives. In our prayer for today, God of presence, speak strength and peace to us today, that we might know you are near. Amen.